Welcome to another Onshape video tutorial at Bryanson School, where we're modelling the resin mood lamp that the BryPrep students made. I've already loaded up the model that I've been working on, having launched the software in my browser, and I'm ready to start modelling straight away. So we've created the three base components now. It's time to add in the bit that would be the resin. Now with this we're keeping things simple, so we're not going to add in the lead, we're not going to add in the LED strip light, so we're just effectively making the base components for our resin lamp. So the next bit to create is the resin that would be poured into the components to create the lamp. So let's create our sketch to extrude. So I'm just going to hover over the top of our base block top. You can see the edges are highlighted in orange. I'm going to right click and then left click on new sketch on the list that comes up. I'm going to press N for normal 2 to look onto that so that I can create my first part of my sketch. And in this instance, again, I'm going to use the project or convert tool. So left click on there, and I'm going to pick up all of the edges of this cutout that we created in the last tutorial. So I've got the 4 straight edges. I'm just going to zoom in by using the scroll wheel on the mouse just to make sure I pick up the radiuses in the corner, or radii in the corner. I'm making sure that I don't click on the point at the center of each radius. I'm making sure that I click on part of the radius, and that should be the complete shape there. So I'm now going to extrude that as a new part but into the existing part. Use extrude, and I'm going to change the direction, and I'm going to change the end condition. So at the moment it says blind. I'm going to select up to face, and I'm going to pick the face of the part underneath, and if I tilt that round, you can see that that's sort of filling it in. Now the reason why it's useful to do that is I might have forgotten that this is 12 millimeters deep. If I had remembered, I could just have told it that I wanted it to be 12 millimeters deep in that direction, I suppose, but the software is there to help me make things easy, so I've just created that as 12 millimeters, and I've selected new over here so I can create that new part. So I'm going to left click, and then I'm going to right click on part 4 to rename it, and I'm just simply going to call that resin. Now that's not all of the resin, so I'm going to right click on the resin, or I could right click on the top of part base block and create a new sketch, press N to view normal 2, and this time I'm going to pick up the 4 outside edges with our conversion tool. So top, left and right sides, hover that around so we can see it in 3D by holding the right mouse button down, and this time I'm simply going to extrude, and I'm going to make that 40 millimeters. Now this again is trying to create a new part. It's defaulted to a new part. I don't want it to be a new part, I want it to be added to an existing part. So if I left click on add, it then says, well, what do you want to merge it with? Select what you want to merge it with, and we want to merge it with the resin. So I'm going to left click into the merge scope to make sure that that's selected, and then left click onto the resin, and then left click to confirm. And you can see it looks just like a big block, but if I come over to each of these parts and I hide them, so I left click on the eye to make those parts disappear, you can see that my resin block will actually sort of go in and fill that shape. Right, let's turn those back on. And there we go, we've created the resin. In the next tutorial we'll just create the top 2 blocks, although we only need to model one of them. And following that we'll look at creating the feet. Thank you for watching. See you in the next tutorial.